the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield. Great futures start here.
I'm Mark Auerbach. Join me every Friday at 8 a.m. for ArtsBeat, where you'll meet interesting actors, directors, designers, and musicians here in Western New England.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
This is Amanda Waterfield. I'm your host this morning for Greater Westfield Chamber of Commerce's Chamber Chatter monthly check-in show, and I have with me my very honored guest who's already given me technical advice, Mr. Bo Sullivan.
As I make all the noise. Jeez, Pete, you got these things tight.
You
That's
a little
cool.
Rusty?
I am a little rusty.
I know the students like to tighten things down and then never tell you, and
Yeah, they don't. You move anything, everything's going to smash on you.
Right.
We're gonna play it real safe and careful here.
That won't touch anything else.
I did buy the pro stuff though, so we have
did.
good stuff.
You did.
No, it's a great setup in here. How's it been working for you over in this facility, Pete?
I've been here for 5 years now?
So far, so good.
Yeah, I just keep slowly improving things is what I do.
Good.
We rent Pete out. We can start with that. How about this? This is true story, and it's something I am extremely excited about. You mentioned the Boys and Girls Club. So we have a brand new studio.
Oh,
just like this.
I want to hear more about that.
Just like this. We have a 4-mic setup, audio, visual, with a board behind it. We've
done Superintendent Spotlight there.
Yeah, we did. We can do it live through TV. Everything is all set up right in the club. There's a
What
room
do
in
you?
the club.
What are your broadcast outlets?
We just this in the club is recordings. The only time we go outside of the club is when Pete comes in and we do this. But they are using it this summer. The kids are in there with my teen director and my technology director. They are doing their own podcasts.
So
they are
like
doing it
something
now.
I'd love to see in
So
action.
you will see it and you will hear it because we are going to start posting it. We are going to start our own YouTube channel. I know Pete's got that here. We'll probably do a little TikTok, which sometimes I kind of roll my eyes at, but I know I got to embrace it. I just got to make sure it's done properly because there's all sorts of things out there. But it's one of the ones. But Pete came in and set up the whole studio for us, bought all the equipment, had a great grant that paid for everything. So it's something that's
we came in with a good budget too.
We did. I'll tell you, it was the Peabody Foundation. Out of Boston, gave us enough money to outfit the whole thing. We're going to do instruments. We're going to do music lessons. We're going to record things. The middle school is going to come over and start a whole new special, an audiovisual special.
Oh my gosh.
That they'll have all their classes in. It's going to be a great, great part of the club that we'll use.
So is the studio, the recording, the creative conceptualization, are those open to all of the club kids?
Yep, everybody will get their chance when we get it into the daily schedule. Everybody will get their chance in the studio and the instruments. We've got people teaching, guitar, drums, piano, voice. We've already been doing that for a little while, so now we will record them, and hopefully we can get everybody together and do one thing. Maybe, who knows, maybe we'll form a band or something.
Oh my gosh, this
like
sounds
that.
like
It's going to be
amazing
awesome.
stuff.
And it's hooked in, obviously, with the technology lab, but also now with the drama club, which is growing by leaps and bounds. So these guys, and the dance program too, which has always been up there, but they'll now be able to go record rehearsals and do everything outside because everything is mobile.
We built it semi-mobile, yeah. So it's in a big rack like we have out in the other room, and things can move around. Yeah,
it's going to be awesome.
So I know that the club does a lot with performance arts. And you mentioned the dance and drama club aspects to it. You've had some club kids in the past who've had amazing musical careers and experiences. I'm assuming this will be something that is really a great starting point for them or a trajectory for them.
It is. We've had lots of kids who perform nationally, a lot of them through BGCA, Boys and Girls Club of America, and New York City, LA. That was just last year. They've been in Washington, D.C. They performed in Houston. They performed in Orlando, all over the place, singing and dancing. Actually, I got to throw a shout out Mallory Ray, who runs the dance program for us. They just had the nationals at Foxwoods last weekend, and we had a national champ
Congratulations.
against everybody. I get texts from her at about 11 o'clock on a Saturday night with pictures of everybody and their trophies and their banners and everybody going crazy. It was a huge weekend. But yeah, the performing arts as a whole has really, really taken off in the last 7 or 8 years and only gotten better. So
that is really exciting. Are the performing arts offerings at the club, would you say that's a draw for kids to join the club?
Absolutely. The parents love it. And the kids love it too. They love the dance program. Mallory runs it that way. And Dev with our drama, she did 101 Dalmatians first, and then she did Willy Wonka, the last one. And this one is Elf, coming up for the fall winter one in September.
Is she putting together 3 productions?
She's already done the 2. She's going to do 2 production a year. She'll do one in the fall and winter, and then the other one in the spring. She hasn't announced what the spring one's going to be, but so she will now concentrate on Elf Jr. But it's open to anyone. If anybody wants to come down and audition, you don't just have to be a club kid. You can audition, become a club kid, and be part of the production.
What about adult roles? Any needs there? Or?
I'm not sure there's too many adult roles now. They can't find one for me because I keep bugging her. I said I can't sing and I can't dance, so I don't know what I could do for you. But
I think there's the Buddy the Elf role that might work for you.
I could be the dad, right?
Well, you could be the dad.
I could be the dad. I could be James Caan, right?
I did not. Oh, I thought you meant the
elf himself?
no, the Papa Elf role.
Oh, you you want me to be Ed Asner? Okay, good. Thanks. Thanks, Amanda.
No, Ed Asner was Santa Claus. Bob Newhart, I believe.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, you're
Papa
right.
Elf.
You're right. Sorry
Yep,
about that.
that's all right. Either one of those. You've got
I could do
range,
all.
Bo.
So I've got range. I could do all.
that.
That's fine.
I did not realize Elf was available as musical, and it sounds like the club is focusing primarily on musicals in the drama
Yep.
arts.
Yep. There's dancing, there's singing, and then obviously the drama part of it too. So we had, I think she had, if I may be wrong by 1 or 2, but I think 49 kids tried out for Willy Wonka, and they all got a part. We had plenty of Oompa Loompas who stole the show, by the way. I went with my wife to the show. The Oompa Loompas stole the show. But so everybody who tried out got a part, got to be on stage. It creates that whole performing in front of an audience, which were a couple hundred people at the auditorium over at the middle school. It's a huge deal.
Yep.
Singing, dancing, doing whatever they needed to do up in front of everybody.
Very vulnerable and I think very, very important in growing presentation skills and
there's so much more to a
confidence.
play than just going up and reading lines. It's friendships. There were kids that would never have seen each other because they're at different elementary schools in town. If they didn't have the play, they wouldn't have met each other. And now we've got lasting friendships just between kids across
Sure, because
town.
they'll be heading on to the upper levels of school together, and
Correct.
they will already have some context there.
Lots of good stuff.
That is exciting. Okay, well, I had no idea about the production studio.
Yep.
Are you doing any sorts of weekly broadcasts, or you mentioned the kids are going to be doing podcasts. Have they narrowed down subject matter there?
They have not. We've kind of left it open. If there's something they want to talk about, we let them talk about it. And when we get going with the YouTube channel, our own, we will start posting them up there, and it can just be a general Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield's channel with all sorts of different topics. We really haven't figured that out yet, and they haven't figured it out. I'm kind of taking a step back and letting it's the kids studio, so I'm going to let them do content as long as everything is good and the content is
appropriate
acceptable.
and helpful and positive. Absolutely.
But yeah, no, they'll be in charge of it. Them and their mentors that'll go in and help them out will be in charge of it.
You can always send some of that my way too.
I know. I trust me, Pete. You're on speed dial for me right about now. So.
Oh, that's great news and exciting stuff.
It is.
I thank you for sharing that with us this morning. If you've just tuned in, I am Amanda Waterfield. I am the Executive Director of the Greater Westfield Chamber of Commerce, and I am joined this morning for Chamber Chatter with our Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield Executive CEO, Mr. Bo Sullivan.
Congratulations to you too, by the way.
Thank you.
You like the job so far?
I love the job.
Good.
I feel, the first couple of weeks I told people it was drinking from a fire hose.
Yep.
Now I'm down to maybe 2 garden hoses. It's still a lot. I'm still learning it. I'm going to be learning it probably to the last day on the job. But I love Westfield. It's a community that's been, it's not geographically my home right now. I live in West Springfield, but I've been a Westfield resident in the past. I'm still deeply involved, particularly through Kiwanis, and then now being here in town every day in the chamber role, constantly learning about businesses, learning more about businesses that I thought I knew about.
Yep.
So, for example, I've been trying to reach out to a lot of our members in the chamber to get to know them a little bit. And so yesterday I spent some time with Maura Tobias at Bay State Health Systems and Bay State Noble.
Yeah.
Learned a little bit about some new things that are happening with that. And then a couple of weeks ago, I took a tour of Mestec, and that was a real eye-opener for me because it's one of the most visible companies in town. But anytime I've mentioned Mestec to anyone in conversation, they ask me, well, what do they really do?
Right.
What do they really do? So they are a metals fabricator specializing in radiator and cooling setups, mechanisms for both the commercial industry and for large-scale private construction projects like schools and hospitals and things of that nature. And it was just really fascinating to see a process that's been in place for dozens of years, and it's mechanical, it's manufacturing, and those sorts of things don't change dramatically over time. For at least to my novice eyeballs, they haven't changed dramatically. So that was really fascinating, and I'm really enjoying just getting to meet different companies and businesses.
It's a wide variety of businesses that are in this town. There really are.
I'm fascinated by what we have here. I can't think of any other communities that have what we have in terms of an airport. How many businesses locally or communities do you know that have an airport and a children's museum? And we have a river. We have so many wonderful things. We've got incredible parks here. So I'm pretty fired up about being here.
Yeah, university and a hospital too.
Those,
you got all of them.
Yep,
I mean,
we really do.
Yep.
So it's a great place to do business. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to spend your shopping dollars. And I'm excited to see there are a couple of new restaurants that are on the horizon for town. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys can see my tandem bagel coffee mug this morning, but I live in West Springfield, and we have a Tandem Bagel there, and I would love Tandem Bagel to come to Westfield. So if anybody has any ties with Tandem Bagel, I know there are a couple of spots open in town, so bring them in.
Bring them in.
It would be amazing to have them here. I think it would complement some of the other things that we have here in town. So, Bo, I had a little bit of an outline for us to discuss this morning, and we do not have to stick to it at all, but I did want to dive into a little bit more about what happens at the Boys and Girls Club over the summer versus the school year schedule. Can you break that down for us a little bit?
Yeah, summertime is more licensed childcare with the summer programming. So 5 to 12-year-olds are who come into the club during the summer. There's about somewhere between 230, 240 kids there that are registered. They come in pretty much every day. Some, obviously, it's summertime, so there's vacations with family vacations. But they move constantly throughout the club. We do group them by age and grade. And then they move and do fun things during the club. A lot of what we do is what lots of educators and parents are worried about is that summer learning loss.
Right.
You get out of school, you have 2 months off, and then you go back in September. It's like, oh, man, I forgot how to do math. So we try to, in a fun way, we don't sit them down and give them a sheet of paper and give them multiplication tables to figure out. That doesn't happen. But they do fun games where they don't even know that they're figuring out they're doing math the whole way through it. Or they're in the technology lab, so they're keeping up to date on the latest in computers or Chromebooks or what have you. They're flying everything from drones. They've got, I don't know, orbs or whatever they're called. They can draw with them. They give them commands through their touchpads, keypads, and everything. It's amazing. So the pool is now open. I do have to throw that out there. We had after last summer, we had to close down the pool because it needed a lot.
I recall that.
A lot of work. Speaking of MESTEC, we have a new unit on the roof and boilers to heat the water. But that was finished. It was about $550,000 project to fix the pool, and we did. So the pool is completely new. Everything has been updated. Everything has been cleaned. Everything has been painted. New windows. Dave Jarrett and Westfield Glass helped us out with windows, but Danik did the whole deck. We had the little 1-inch square tiles that wrapped around the pool as the deck. Those were the original from 1990 or 1991 when the building was built. It was time to get rid of all those, so they scraped all those off and laid down a whole new floor for us.
How many months of work are we talking about here?
We didn't have people jump in until it was during school, so I'll say April. So a good 7 to 8 months it was shut down. One of the
Actually
best
sounds
parts
not bad for something of that scope.
at that scope, because we did everything. Danik went in and found all the soft spots. There's a couple soft spots in the pool that they fixed, and then we filled it with water again. So one of the best parts about this, besides having it open for summer and then every grade goes in it, is we have I'm still calling it a new preschool program. It's almost 2 years old, but we can now start doing swim lessons with the preschool. So the 3-year-olds and the 4-year-olds are now getting in the pool and learning how to swim.
So that, to me, adds a whole different level of complexity in terms of who you have teaching those programs,
Yep.
keeping it. So your staffing needs must be pretty significant.
We just hired a brand new pool director. Rachel is who's been with us. She was a club kid. I don't know how long she's been with us. She'd tell you, but I'm sure it's close to 10 years between being a club kid and an employee. She was a lifeguard for us a few years ago, and COVID hit and everything. She let everything lapse, but she went and got certified again, and she's also a certified teacher now. So she's running the pool, and we have a lifeguard during the summer. So there's 2 of them in the pool at all times and teaching. Now the preschool will go down there. I think it's once a week for each classroom. There's
Gotcha.
2 classrooms. So we're teaching them how to swim.
So are those kids, is that an automatic enrollment for them in those lessons?
Yep.
That's
Part
phenomenal.
of the program.
That was my very, very first paying job, was teaching swimming lessons when
Really?
I was 11.
Would
Yep.
you like to do it again?
I got a little time, sure. I might need to be recertified. It's been 45
Been a few years.
years.
That's all right. I know exactly who to call to get you recertified. So
I know the basics.
yeah.
That sounds like a blast, to be honest.
It's great, and I'm so glad that the pool is there. That program will help all those kids. I mean, 3 and 4-year-olds learning how to swim. Who knows where they would get that if they didn't have it at the club right now.
Well, some of them will get it, but most of them probably won't, because
won't.
it's time out of the parent's schedule, it's time out of the
Mm-hmm.
parent's budget, and I think those kinds of lessons that sometimes everybody wants to do them, but it gets to the bottom of the list
Yep.
real quick. So that's amazing to hear.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really delighted to hear that.
Yeah.
It's great.
No, it's good. It's fun.
So that sounds like a really big new thing for summer at the club. I'm thinking, Pete, if you would like to take us into break, let's come back in a couple of minutes and keep the conversation going.
Turn your magic on. With me, she'd say everything you want to dream away. We are legends every day. That's what she told me. Turn your magic on. To me, she'd say everything you want to dream away. Under this pressure, under this weight. We are diamonds, and I feel my heart beating. I feel my heart underneath my skin. I feel my heart beating. You make me feel like I'm alive again. Not in this way. I'm a dreamer, die by light of day. Gonna hold up high the sky and say, only I own it. And I feel my heart beating. I feel my heart underneath my skin. Oh, I can feel my heart beating. 'Cause you make me feel like I'm Under this pressure, under this weight, we are diamonds taking shape. We are diamonds taking shape.
Underwriting for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield, serving the youth of the Whip City and surrounding communities since 1969. For more information on the Great Futures Club for ages 3 to 5, happening weekdays, and the Club Teen Center for ages 11 and older, weekdays from 6:30 till 8 p.m., go online at bcgwestfield.org or visit the club at 28 West Silver Street. The Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield. Great futures start here.
Hi, this is Harry Rock, host of Rock on Westfield every fourth Wednesday at 8 a.m. Tune in for my view of this place I call home.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield and surrounding areas. This is Amanda Waterfield. I'm your host this morning for Chamber Chatter, a production of the Greater Westfield Chamber of Commerce and the studio here at Westfield Technical Academy under the excellent directorship of Mr. Peter Coles. I am joined this morning by Bo Sullivan. Bo is the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield, and he's also the vice chairman of the Westfield School Committee. And we are here on July 12th. It's about 8:29. I want to give a shout out to one Laura Brodkin, who is my daughter, who's turning 20 today.
Wow, happy birthday.
I know. I don't have any teenagers anymore.
Yeah, that was long ago for me. So
I always kind of felt like that was an excuse for being, I don't know, late, disorganized, whatever. Oh, I've got teenagers. No food in the house. I have teenagers. Didn't pay the heating bill. I have teenagers. So those excuses are no more. So happy birthday, my darling.
You can just say you got kids in the house. That's good.
I do. And plus I have a dog, and so
there you go.
there's always
plenty of excuses. There's always an excuse.
There always are. No, I'm not leaning on that anymore. So it's 8:29 here on Wednesday, July 12th in the production studios at Westfield Technical Academy. I had a list of looks like about 15 questions for Bo, and I think that was unnecessary because with Bo's copious broadcast experience, it's really not necessary for me to do anything except make sure the mic is open.
You can just say I talk too much. That's fine.
I'm going to be calling in you anytime I have a hole in the schedule. And if you are a member of the Greater Westfield Chamber of Commerce and you have something that you'd love to discuss for a broader audience, I would welcome your participation in a future edition of Chamber Chatter. We do this on the second Wednesday of the month, 8 a.m. here at the studios at the Westfield Technical Academy. And who knows, maybe we'll be doing some broadcasting from the Boys and Girls Club, too.
You certainly will.
Pretty cool option to have.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about some of the new things going on at the club. The pool being reopened, offering swimming lessons, those are huge things. And then the broadcast studio that the club has set up with Pete's help and direction, which I'm thrilled about that. I just feel like everybody's broadcasting all the time. So let's learn how to do it correctly and effectively.
Right.
And, maybe there's some WeTuba alliances to be made there, Bo. For those of you who aren't familiar with what is now my very favorite acronym of all time, WeTuba, the chamber is is coordinating with the school department and the superintendent's office to form what we call the Westfield Education to Business Alliance, which is a partnership that goes back about 7 years between the business community and the school department. And so I spent some time, I guess it was last week or the week before, with our school superintendent, Stefan Zaporowski, and he really filled me in on what this program is, what it does, and the opportunities it affords both to the business community and the students within our school system. So, Bo, I'm wondering what your experience, both from the chamber perspective and from the Boys and Girls Club perspective, has been with WeTuba.
This is actually one of my favorite programs, too, that Stefan keeps talking about, is getting the businesses in town into a classroom and teaching the kids not only about the business, say it's Polish National Credit Union goes in and talks about credit unions and banking and everything, but it also gets them prepared for the days after they graduate from high school. About how to go about getting a job, how about getting a resume together, how about getting yourself in the flow and in the system. So it's more of a professional development, I guess you could call it, as much as it is talking to them about banking. Or I know Meztec's in the schools. There's a whole bunch of the businesses in town that are in schools, and I think it's an easy one for some of like the manufacturing businesses in town here at the Tech Academy to marry them together, so the graduates of this school can move right into a job in town. I just think and we're trying to do that at the club at an even younger age. We've got some of these guys some of these kids that are being, we bring in guest speakers. State police were in, how to write a resume was in. There's a couple of them. Steve Forney, who helps Pete here with this and teaches here at the Tech Academy, is going to come in, and who's got a whole background in broadcasting also, but it also runs the visual and the audio visual department here at the Academy. So we'll bring them in just to get them thinking that there's something that may catch their eye, even at a younger age, with members of the club. So I think the program that Stefan has started with the chamber is a home run for everybody.
I'm pretty excited about it. We'll be starting up some meetings and decision-making about what businesses go into what classrooms beginning in September. So please reach out to me at the chamber office if you have any interest in becoming part of that group. My email is amanda@westfieldbiz.org, or the phone number at the chamber office is 568-1618. We're looking for lots of participants. One of the programs that Stefan told me about, so just to back up a little bit, some of the WeTuba alliances are pretty specialized in manufacturing, HVAC, things that are particularly trade-oriented. But there are also a lot of opportunities for more general education types of skill sets to be applied. Bo just mentioned resume building,
Yep.
which I don't care what you're doing. As soon as you step off of school grounds, you need to be able to market yourself and very quickly and effectively get yourself into the job market. And even though the job market is wide open, you're always going to be facing competition. So one of the things that one of our board members, in fact, Candace Berube, did with some of the high school level students was to offer reporting assignments. Candace is the owner and publisher of City Lifestyle Westfield and also City Lifestyle Northampton, which many of you are probably familiar with, is a community magazine. So she was actually perhaps maybe finding some future reporters for herself in those instances, but she was also giving students a taste of the real world of journalism. I talked to Stefan about bringing in a program that I did in a previous job when I was representing an art and design college, and that is talking about job interviewing. A lot of us really don't think about the things you shouldn't say in a job interview.
Yeah.
And
there's a
maybe we
few.
should. I'm happy to offer that to anybody, actually. But students need feedback and skills. They also need feedback from people who aren't their parents and aren't necessarily their teachers either. And one of the aspects of that conversation that I like to have is appropriate attire for a job interview.
Mm-hmm.
If your belly ring is showing at a job interview, it's probably not going to go your way. Just, pro tip here from...
Yeah.
I did mock interviews with the IT department,
Yeah.
and I was watching kids check out on me while I'm doing the interview with them.
Yeah.
And none of them read the job description,
Yeah.
and they weren't prepared. So I said, I just stopped. I wasn't even mad. I was like, you just lost the job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
What?
nowadays is so different than when we were doing it because they are so tied up in phones and electronics and
that-
computers and
what's-
what have you. So the face-to-face part of it is completely foreign to some of these kids. And it's one of the things they need to learn how to do because you still have to deal with people on a one-on-one basis eventually. You can't just sit on your phone and have a chat with them. That's not how it works most of the time.
But the other piece of the phone aspect that a lot of students, and I apologize for generalizing here, but as a parent of two people who were very recently teenagers, I know that a lot of kids do not use their phones for calling. They don't speak to each other.
No.
And if you're trying to get a job and you're not picking up the phone when it rings, you're missing opportunities. So that's something that we really also need to kind of refocus on is talking on the phone. It can be a challenge. Doesn't have to be.
They should rename this thing.
What would we call it?
I don't know, but it's not a phone because nobody uses it as a phone.
It's not a telephone. It's a
It's a texting machine. I don't know what it is. It's
a
social media,
recording audio chat device. Yeah.
picture taking.
Constantly.
Oh.
I just posted a photo on Facebook of me and Bo, so I'm
see?
totally guilty.
Yeah.
Did it.
Well, you have to. You do have to know the skill, but you have to know the other skills too.
Absolutely. It's all part of the picture.
Get off the soapbox.
So, in addition to what Bo was just describing, which is a classroom adoption kind of arrangement
Yeah.
between the businesses and the schools, there are also one-on-one mentoring opportunities available through the superintendent's office. And if you have an hour a week, you would be very, very gratefully welcomed into the mentoring program. That is, I believe Leslie Lambert has some management of that. So if you know Leslie, you can get in touch with her. Or, again, reach out to Stefan and see where you can be placed. Because whatever your skill set, whatever your interest level, you're going to be able to give some guidance to a student who would really get some benefit. And that's a two-way street. You're going to get a lot out of it as well.
Yep.
It's just not just for the kid, for the student. So we talked about the adopted classroom. WeTuba was kind of the driving force behind the school career fair that the chamber was involved in. I was not a part of it. Bo, did you have any
At West, the one
participation at Westfield
Yes,
State?
we were there. We had a table there. We had our program director and also our development director, AJ and Jose, were there. So it was great because there was a ton of high school kids who came through it. And
Was that open to other districts?
It was just Westfield
It
for
was, okay.
now. So it was the high school and the Tech Academy and St. Mary's. We did bring St. Mary's up there also. So it was great, and it was obviously very well attended. So we just put every kid on the bus and brought them up to the college, the university, and walked them around, and they asked some great questions. They are interested when it's put in front of them. Mm-hmm. If there's a business there, and I think Stefan said there was around 70.
That sounds about
70
right.
businesses.
Yep.
2 big circles, squares. But it was good because it got them in the frame of mind. It got the students in the frame of mind that, hey, there may be something down the road after I'm done getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning going to school. I can actually go out there and support myself with one of these businesses, because they're all looking for kids to sign up.
The whole staffing situation here in town is something I'd really like to spend a little more time exploring. I've had conversations with a lot of businesses that are really hurting for employees, looking for folks to be working. And then on the other side of it, we have a couple of resources here in town or adjacent that are members, such as the Workforce Development Organization, Mass Hire, who have resources. So I'm happy to connect any employers with either of those agencies and try and fill some slots for you with the appropriate personnel. Because I know staffing continues to be a challenge for a lot of businesses. Anything else about Wetuba that we haven't really discussed, Bo?
No, just that I think it's a great opportunity for some of the businesses in town to get involved with it, because, again, I think it's a good starter and feeder program for them. Like you said, the kids are going to get something out of it, but the businesses are going to get something out of it too. It's the same thing as a mentorship. So I would strongly suggest that they get in touch with either you or Stefan, or if you want, you can holler to me. It's fine. I'll get you where you need to go, but I would suggest strongly that they get involved. An hour or so, whatever the commitment is.
An hour a week.
Is easy.
Yep.
So.
Doable.
Yep.
Very much so.
Very much.
Good. Well, thanks for supporting my angle on that. I think it's a great program. And it took me probably about 3 weeks to get my head around what Wetuba was. Because it got thrown around a lot my first couple of weeks on the job. But now I know, and I'm a believer. So I wanted to talk a little bit, shift gears here, talk about what's going on in the school system. Bo is the vice chair of the school committee here in Westfield, and we both attended last month the groundbreaking of the new construction project over at Franklin Avenue School.
Yep. Much overdue. This was part of the project that was probably 10 years in the making. It was originally going on Cross Street at Ashley Street, where the old Ashley Street Elementary School was. But we combined Franklin and Abner Gibbs school system, the elementary, so K through 4. Both those schools, when this new school is being built and opened, both those schools will be combined, and all those children will go to that school. So that will bring part of a opportunity, as we like to say, for you in the chamber or whoever to market the Abner Gibbs School. But this one is long overdue. The Abner Gibbs School was, I'm guessing, but I believe it was built in 1914. So I believe it's almost 110 years old. I may be off a year or two on that, but it's. I mean, who knows who Abner Gibbs was? Was an actual gentleman in town, lived across the street. So, but that's all I know about him. But anyways, so there you go. It's a great project. It's a big project for town, because you know as well as I do that when businesses come into town, they look at the education system. And some of our schools, these two in particular, were extremely old, and it's going to be replaced with a brand new state-of-the-art school. There'll be some preschool classrooms in it, but K through 4 will have everything that anybody can imagine will be inside that school. So it's a really, really good project.
That is so exciting. I'm really glad to hear that this is finally taking flight. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think we were talking about an opening for 2026. Does that sound about right?
It seems like it's going to be January, so halfway through the school year of 2026. Yes, it will be open.
Okay. And the current state of affairs at Franklin Ave, it will still continue to be a functioning school during construction. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
as will Abner.
Yes.
Abner Gibbs will stay open also.
Yeah. So students who are in those two schools at this point won't have to make any changes until the time comes
Nope.
to cut the ribbon on and open the doors.
Plenty of time to get ready for a brand new school.
Fantastic.
Have you driven by? Some of the steel's already going up.
Yeah, they were working this weekend, as a matter of fact. So maybe we can get it done early. That would obviously be great. I'm always a proponent of any of these construction projects, no matter what it is, to get done early. It just seems to me that it takes forever.
It does
to get
take forever,
anything
but
built.
I think, I don't know, being an optimist by nature, I feel like you have to plan for the worst case scenario and hope for the best.
Yep.
Weather being a huge factor, obviously.
Right. We're in New England. I get it.
Control.
It could be
Indeed.
5 degrees below for 3 weeks in a row and kind of hard to work in that atmosphere, but
Could be.
We'll get there.
So what else is new coming up in the school department?
We just finished the budget, so we were pretty happy with the budget. Went up quite a bit because there was more state funding involved with Chapter 70 money, which is the money that funds from the state to the city that funds education. There was about a $3.5 to $4 million increase in that. A law that was passed a couple of years ago called the Student Opportunity Act was the law was passed. Doesn't mean they funded the law, which they didn't. There was at least now a portion of it. I don't think it's fully funded yet, but we got right around $4 million that all went to the schools. So that was good and much needed. It really was. The budget looks good, and I think Stefan and everybody at central office, and then all the way down to teachers and principals and everybody in the school systems are looking forward to September of 23. Not that I want to rush summer, because I don't.
Let's not do that. Let's enjoy. But it's nice
Yes.
that we have some positive news on the budget front to look forward to for the fall.
Good process. The mayor and the superintendent worked closely on this one because they had to. Not that it wasn't in the past, but nowadays you really, really do have to watch every dollar. And I know that sounds very cliche, but it does. It got down to, quite honestly, paper in central office. How much can we spend on supplies in central office? Is it $1,000 or is it $1,200? And it was $1,000.
Those little numbers add up.
They do, and nowadays you have to keep an eye on all of it, and they did a good job together.
Well, congratulations, and on behalf of the voting population, I thank you for your dedication to that process. That's not something a lot of us would sign up for. A lot of us are quick to cast stones and aspersions and ask questions, but actually doing that hard work is something that
Comes with a job.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
that's fine.
grateful for that. Thank you. Will you be running again for school committee?
I will be. I have my nomination papers. I have to bring them back. I have to get my 50 signatures.
Are you going to be able to do that?
I think so.
Okay.
I've got a little while to do that, but yes, I will be on the ballot again come September
Fantastic.
for the school committee.
Oh, glad to hear it. Good.
Thank you.
Hey, Pete, let's go into one quick, short little break, and then we were going to wrap things up on the other end of it.
I don't know what you've been told, but time is running out. No need to take it slow. I'm stepping to you toe to toe. I should be scared, honey, maybe so, but I ain't worried about it right now. Keeping dreams alive, 1999 heroes. I ain't worried about it right now. Swimming in the floods, dancing on the clouds below. I ain't worried about it. I don't know what you've been told, but time is running out, so spend it like it's gold. I'm living like I'm not zeros. Got no regrets even when I'm broke. Yeah, I'm at my best when I got something I'm wanting to steal. They're too busy for them problems and problems to feel. Yeah, no stressing, just obsessing with sealing the deal. I take it in and let it go, but I ain't worried about it right now. Keeping dreams alive, 1999 heroes. I ain't worried about it right now. Swimming in the floods, dancing on the clouds below. I ain't worried about it.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Hi, it's Bob Plass, and I have Wow, It's Tuesday, every Tuesday, 6 to 8. Wow, it's Tuesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
I did it!
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
That Bob Plass promo gets me laughing every time.
You still let that guy in the air?
I love
He was a
Bob.
hot mess this week coming
Was
back
he?
from Rehoboth. He had been on vacation for 2
he
weeks.
was down on the beach.
Yes, he was still in beach mode.
But he was here, and he soldiered on, didn't he?
Yes.
Yes.
As he always does.
Credit to our dear friend Bob.
Yeah.
So we are going to wrap up Chamber Chatter in a couple of minutes here. We've got about 7 minutes left. I'm Amanda Waterfield, your Greater Westfield Chamber of Commerce Executive Director, and with our Westfield Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield CEO, Mr. Bo Sullivan. So Bo had a couple of things he wanted to bring up before we wrap things up.
I just want to mention the food program, Summer Eats program that we are in the middle of right now. We feed every kid in town a free meal during the summer. We've got 10 locations. I'm looking out at Hubbard Street here, the water park. We're here. We're at the library, the Athenaeum outside there. All the parks in town and the Boys and Girls Club. So there's 10 of them. If you want a list of them, it's on the website bgcwestfield.org. But free meals all summer long. We start it as soon as school ends, and I believe the last day we're doing this year is August 25th. So right before school starts again. Family, anybody 2 to 18. If you're walking by and you want a meal, say hi.
So you don't need to sign up.
You don't need to sign up. Just show up. That's all you need to do. Show up and eat it in front of us. That's all you need to do. And Kim in the kitchen does a fabulous job with this, and everybody who drives the vans around town. Our summer help who sign up just to do this because they like it so much. About 250 to 270, somewhere in there a day. We feed kids around town.
And are those meals being taken advantage of fully?
No.
So
there's plenty more out there that would like to eat. I know there are. So sometimes it's just a sandwich and a meal, all USDA approved. But I think 3 times a week now she's doing hot meals.
Get out. That's
so,
fantastic.
Sometimes they're cheeseburgers, sometimes there's spaghetti, sometimes there's some kind of pasta. It's great. She really does do a great job with the whole thing. And then we feed everybody that's in the club too. So it's a lot, but
that is a lot.
It's definitely worth it.
Especially to take it on the road.
And kids need to eat.
They sure do.
We feed them.
I think you mentioned the time of that, but would you remind me?
The time it starts. The first one I believe is 11:30 in the morning. You're gonna have to check the website because all 10 locations I'm not gonna know off the top of my head, but somewhere between 11:30 and 1 o'clock, all 10 of them are taken care of. So again, bgcwestfield.org, and it's got all the Summer Eats programs right there, right on the front page.
That's such a great resource, Bo. Thank you for mentioning that. Thank you for sharing that with our listeners this morning. Mm-hmm. Just another example of what the good things the Boys and Girls Club brings to our community. I know you're the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield. Do you have many kids who are not Westfield?
Mostly Southwick.
Okay.
I will say that. There are a couple hill towns, and then there's a couple scattered around West Springfield areas. If the parents live out there and work in Westfield,
it's a good fit.
Right, it's a perfect fit. So, but we send vans every day during the school year and during summer that if a Southwick student needs a ride to the club, we go pick them up,
go get them,
and bring them to the club. So a lot of Southwick, which is great. There's a great little program we're doing now. We're in the process of it with Cindy Sullivan over at the Senior Center. We started a garden club.
Oh.
We got a grant to build gardens over at the Southwick Senior Center. So our kids and the seniors over in Southwick are going to grow vegetables all summer long and then have a big feast at the end of the summer. So we'll talk more about that. It's actually Steve, my guy, is over there right now as we speak building the planters.
Oh, that's
because
perfect.
they're off the ground, so everybody can reach them and no problems. And
Boy, you're going to a lot of trouble to make kids excited about vegetables.
Hey, it's all farm to table. If we can do that with vegetables and grow their own and figure out how to cook them and prepare them or however they want to do it, I'm all for it.
Boy, that checks off a lot of skills.
It's a lot. Agriculture,
construction.
It's everything. It really is.
Yep. Maintenance.
Yep.
That's
cooking.
fantastic.
Yep. Everything. So
I love it.
great.
And nutrition. Super.
Yep.
Good work over there. A couple things I wanted to mention coming up with the Chamber, or that have been going on with the Chamber. We've got a bunch of new member businesses that I wanted to mention by name. We're really happy to have the following businesses join us as members of the Chamber. We've got Ponders Hollow, which does custom millwork, trim, any kind of wood-based building supply they manufacture right here in Westfield. Forge Property Management, which is rental properties, also based here in Westfield. We have Laundry Central. If you guys have not checked them out, I don't remember exactly their address, but they are next to the Polish Deli, just off of Main Street. They offer laundry, wash, dry, fold, and delivery services. So you have no excuse to be wearing a wrinkled shirt next week. Call them up. They're going to take care of it for you. We have Mill River Slab Works, which is a retail operation offering fine wood products, live edge tables and countertops and things of that nature. They're over in the off of the Arch Road area. We have Heartsake Photography just joined us. Heartsake Photography is based in Southwick, and they specialize in pet photos. So if you have not checked out their website, she does, the woman's name is Faith, and she does a really, really great job. Not just with dogs, but she's got cats, she's got horses. I'm sure if you had a guinea pig or a lizard, she would be happy to photograph that as well. We have Socially Elite Media, who specializes in optimizing your social media content. She actually does content creation. Madeline LeBlanc is that young woman's name, and she has drone photography, so check her out. And last but not least, our mutual dear friend, Joanne Papademetrio, who is a realtor with Coldwell Banker, are they still Coldwell Banker? Coldwell Realty.
I believe they are.
She's based out of the Longmeadow office, but works here in Westfield, and she's joined our chamber as well. The couple of things coming up here in town. This week we have the Friday night concert series continues. It's going to be the third concert this week. Have you been to any of those, Bo?
I have in the past, yes.
I have not, and I really have
great.
to.
Been to both. They were excellent.
Yeah.
They do a really good job.
So they've got a really fun lineup of performances, and this week is a band I have not heard of, not familiar with the Piper Hopkins Band.
Very good. They were in here during COVID.
Awesome.
Oh, good.
Good. Yep. Well, they will be downtown Friday night at the Lamson Square stage, just off of Elm Street, down next to Mina's.
Yep.
And that event kicks off at 7 o'clock. It's a free event. Come bring your chair.
Want a pro tip for that one?
Yeah.
Park right around the stage, and then you can walk to the tavern or Maple Leaf or Wings or whatever, and then walk back. You grab your chair, and you're there.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Pete. I may do that this week.
Yep.
Going to get to one of them soon.
Great area.
So that's a blast. Free concerts, Friday night downtown. You can't beat it. Last but not least, you are all invited to Morning Brew. That is our one and only networking event at the Chamber for the month of July. We are going to be at Shaker Farms Country Club. They are graciously hosting us, as they have many times in the past couple of months. We will be there Thursday, the 27th of July at 8 o'clock. So come get your coffee, grab a donut, and network with your friends. We don't want to forget what you look like over the summer, so come and see us. Bo Sullivan, thank you so much for joining me this morning. This was a really fun edition of Chamber Chatter.
Thanks for the invite. Anytime.
Pete, you have done a master job of keeping us on track here, and I really appreciate your help and support. Chamber Chatter on July 12th. We are wrapping it up. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Amanda
Support
Waterfield.
for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Join us every Thursday morning
from 6 until at least 7:30.
Check out the Bobby G and Company Show
right here on WSKB 89.5
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.